Hi everyone, it's Tarnished Treasures, and today we're looking at another article from Victorian Homes magazine. This is from the Spring 2014 magazine, and it is about ephemera. And I know that if you are watching this channel and this video, you love ephemera and love to collect it just like me. So ephemera, we know it as vintage paper, and the word ephemera means something that was only meant to last a short period of time. So postcards, snapshots, a business card, an envelope, old letters, those are things that would fit under the ephemera category. So here you can see some postcards. We have some embossed ones with florals, and the floral motif was very popular during the Victorian times. And we have some Valentines. And before the Victorian times, before 1830s, the Valentines were handwritten on handmade paper, but then they were able to mass produce some novelty items, and then you saw Valentines being exchanged all over the place. It says, during the Victorian era, declarations of love were acceptable on Valentine's, something that might not have seemed proper if spoken out loud in front of other people. So it's very interesting, and I know that there are some very inappropriate Valentines out there. I think Mossstone Story Vintage shared a video last year. So ephemera includes letters, postcards, photographs, advertisements, sheet music, concert tickets, and old playbills. Collectors particularly favor romantic vintage paper goods like Valentines, love letters, and photographs. We have some black and white photos, envelopes, and letters. That even looks like a page from a catalog. And I think that these were some pictures that showed great ways to display your ephemera. Now, some of these older papers are going to be made with acid. They're not going to last very long because they're already 100, 150 years old. So it suggested ways to store them behind glass, under a cloche, in a cabinet where the door shuts, away from the sunlight, and maybe in between acid-free papers. But here, it looks like a children's book, maybe even a baby's book that has a card, maybe a Valentine, and some fake flowers. We have some floral fabric. And I really like this one, opening a book that has a plate with a flower engraving, having a flower, and some other books and postcards. And I know that. That is a needle pack there. I actually have two of those with the rose. So I liked how the article ended talking about price. It said to play a little game when you're out shopping for ephemera. Kind of guess how much you think it should be worth or what you would pay before you actually look at the price. And then that could help you figure out if it's something you want to add to your collection or not. Remember, price is based on condition and the rarity of an item. However, you should purchase what you love. And I agree with that. I also heard one time, I think on a TV show, they said that paper is not something that you want to spend a lot of money on because it will not last forever. And I thought that that was some pretty good advice. I think that was the last page. Yeah. So let me share with you what I have. This is just a little bit. I just opened up my drawer and pulled some things out to show you a little sprinkling of different categories. So we've got some handwritten letters, and I usually find those at estate sales in just a pile. And sometimes they have the original envelopes with them. I like finding these because they usually have some type of date. Now that one does not have a year, but it does have the month and the day. But usually they have a date on them. We have some letterhead, and this article focuses a lot on Victorian, and I don't have too many Victorian paper items because that's so old and fragile, and a lot of times just thrown away, or if these were stored in the basement, they would get mold and mildew and again damaged and thrown away. So it really is nice when you can find something older from the Victorian times in good condition. So these are from the 1880s. These were from a friend. And they have letterhead written in French. Maybe it's a bill, maybe it's something about business. But you can just tell that paper, very, very thin. Some of this old paper, you can't even fold it. If you were to fold it, it would just crease and snap off. Envelopes, and I think this is a great piece of ephemera. A children's book where they practice their handwriting. I mean, who would have thought someone would have hung on to this for so long? But thankfully for us collectors, we love it. Calendars. I know I don't keep my calendars after the year is over. And this one, very, very fragile, from 1927. And it's so decorative. It's got the embossed flowers, like some of the postcards in the article. And that is the telltale sign that it was glued in a scrapbook. Some black and white photos, some that are just snapshots, again, from a scrapbook. Cabinet cards that were actually done in photography studios. Bridge and tally cards. Business cards. Even calling cards. Calling cards were something that somebody would leave when they went to visit a house in the Victorian times. They visited, then they would leave their card, or if they stopped by, they would leave their card with their name on it. This is an almanac from 1884. I know where I got this. This was an estate sale, and the woman owned a bookstore. And the bookstore specialized in European books, vintage and antiques, and children's fairy tales. And it was a weekend-long sale, and on the last day, a lot of paper was left. I just got like a shoebox full, and that was in there. And then we have Valentines. There's just so many different shapes and styles. And the honeycomb design, which can be found in Beistel Valentines. Beistel was a company that was started in the 1900s in Pennsylvania, and in 1910 he imported the honeycomb technology, which they had over in Europe. And I've been at antique stores, I think I have some, that are the Beistel, and they have a honeycomb attached to the Valentine. They're very elaborate and they stand up. So I think these are neat. Sorry about the glare. Sometimes they don't have the maker on them. They'll just say made in the USA. Like here, just made in USA. Some will have movable parts, so that little grommet lets his eyes move. And then postcards. Postcards are nice too because they usually have the date as well, 1915. And then beautiful ones from France, 1918. So I hope you liked seeing that article, seeing a little bit of my collection. I'll see everyone in another video. Bye.